The role of local government associations in promoting gender equality at local level. In this presentation, first we will learn what the possible roles of local government associations in achieving gender equality are. After that, we will explore several examples of associations which actively work on gender equality. As it will be shown, different contexts allow for different measures to be taken, but any contribution matters. It is up to you and your organization to use the experiences that you think are worth employing. In any case, we hope that completing this session will inspire you to take the action. The beginning of this module is also an appropriate place to express appreciation to our colleagues from the Council of European Municipalities and Regions, Congress of Local Authorities of Moldova, Swedish Association of Local Authorities and Regions, and the Serbian Standing Conference of Towns and Municipalities for sharing their experiences with all NALES members. Each organization can find its own way to engage in gender equality work. Their methods may depend on many factors. Some are internal, but indeed, some external factors could also shape their approach. We will share some general ideas here. First of all, the organization may take a political stand towards gender equality. It can be a declaration, adoption of a resolution, or of another kind of document. Sometimes, these decisions are not operational and their results might not be visible in practice. Yet, an official declaration and promotion of gender equality in any way is very beneficial. The organization can focus on equal, or at least fair representation in their decision-making bodies. It can adopt a policy of having at least 30% of less represented sex in the decision-making bodies. All communication activities of the organization, public speaking, public appearance, or communication material could be used to promote gender equality. The only thing needed is a bit of awareness and willingness to do so. If the organization has more abundant resources at disposal, more concrete steps could be taken. Data collecting, building databases, collecting examples, tools, books, or materials could be produced for members to benefit from them later on. One possibility is to set a platform for learning and exchange, organizing events, study visits, peer exchange, training courses. In the best-case scenario, the association can provide advice, be open to individual consultancy, tailor-made assistance, and support to member municipalities. But the most important step would be to start cleaning one's own backyard, mainstreaming gender perspective into all activities and all policies of the organization. At the same time, NALES members are the members of the Council of European Municipalities and Regions as well. CEMR's members are National Association of Local and Regional Governments, whose own members are local and regional authorities within one country. CEMR is made up of 60 member associations from 42 countries. It was founded in 1951 with two main goals: to influence European policy and legislation and provide a forum for the debate between local and regional authorities via their associations. CEMR has quite an impressive history of gender equality work, which started in 1983 with a conference intended to promote women's participation in decision-making. Similar activities continued during the 80s, and then in 1992, a standing committee of elected women was established. After 1995, when the UN adopted the Beijing Platform for Action, where gender mainstreaming was first introduced as a strategy for achieving gender equality, this started becoming a major strategy in Europe as well. In year 2000, CEMR started to implement the project Town for Equality, funded by the European Commission. In 2006, The experiences from the project were integrated in a political statement that we know as the Charter for Equality between Women and Men in Local Life. To date, the Charter has been signed by 1,619 local and regional authorities in 33 countries. The Charter can be used both to formulate the political will and strategic orientation towards gender equality, but also as a tool for practical gender mainstreaming in all areas of competence on local level. In 2011, the Standing Committee of Elected Women became the Standing Committee for Equality between Women and Men. This is a very important change, not only of the name, but also of the approach to gender equality as both women's and men's mission. In 2012, the Observatory was founded for monitoring the implementation of the Charter, and between 2013 and 2015, this observatory developed a set of indicators for monitoring the implementation of the Charter all over Europe. CEMR provides both virtual and real space for sharing experiences, good practices and challenges. In their expert group of national coordinators, each association has its own representative. Occasional online meetings and conferences provide a space for exchange and mutual learning for the entire Europe. NALAS is a rather young organization with 15-member local government association from SEE countries. Since 2013, NALAS has taken a very strong stand in promoting gender equality and youth participation in local life. Its secretariat started collecting data and distributing data into graphics, good examples and other materials during numerous events, such as General Assembly meetings. NALAS established a cooperation with UN Women, formed a group of focal points for gender and youth issues, and organized several training courses for their own staff and thematic task forces. The most impressive fact about NALAS gender equality work is the ambition to focus on local finances and gender perspective in budgeting. NALAS also adopted a set of documents to promote gender equality and youth participation, strategic plan, action plan, and policy paper in 2016. The most popular and outstanding action from the media point of view was organizing the Genie Youth Award competition, where 5 examples were awarded and a book of good practices were compiled. Also, this online course that you currently attend is one of the strategic actions that NALAS undertakes to increase gender mainstreaming knowledge and skills at local level, which hopefully will result with improved gender equality actions. Each country has its own specific features. Moldova has a huge number of small local government units, 1/3 of which has a population of less than 1,500, while 86% have a population of less than 500 inhabitants. Mayors of these units are directly elected. Out of 898 villages and cities, there are 184 women mayors, which make slightly over 20%. This is quite an impressive percentage. And even more remarkable is the informal research that shows that a significant number of them are respected teachers trusted by the community. Having such an impressive number of women mayors, they decided to establish their network. In 2011, they started meeting, cooperating, and sharing experiences and challenges. Their work and achievements were documented through a movie which is a part of this module. This way of supporting and promoting women's leadership definitely paid off to Calm, because only 4 years later, the number of elected women mayors increased for 20. Sweden is a country which is well known for its strong commitment to gender equality and leading position in EU according to the Gender Equality Index. The country has clearly defined and widely communicated gender equality goals. The national government funded a big program for gender mainstreaming at the local level, which was implemented by SALA between 2008 and 2013. Through this program, municipalities, county councils, regional bodies but also private companies working with the public sector were provided direct support to improve their services to citizens. The idea was to ensure equal level or quality of service for women and men, boys and girls. The method used for improving services is so-called 3R method, which will be explained later on. Special attention was paid to providing a systematic and sustainable approach with local ownership over the process. SALA learned a very important lesson, that active leadership is a crucial precondition for successful gender equality work. After the experiences were gained from the program, SALA started sharing them actively through different channels of communication. Among other things, SALA created an animated movie which was used as training material and inspiration for other actors involved. They also published their experiences online, published several books to share their collected knowledge, and they even established cooperation with one university in an effort to design a special academic course in gender mainstreaming. Nowadays, SALA continues to build on the knowledge gathered, and currently several projects relating to gender equality are in progress, including continuous cooperation with CMR on the issue of the Charter. SALA is also actively cooperating with SCTM, the National Association of Towns and Municipalities from Serbia. This example of international twinning is recognized by CMR as a good practice example of implementing the Charter. SCTM started their gender equality work in 2009 with translating and widely promoting the CMR Charter. This year was important for Serbia because a law on equality between women and men was adopted and put some responsibilities on local level. SCTM knew that municipalities will need more support, so they made a strategic long-term plan to cooperate with SALA and apply for funding. When SCTM started their extensive program of support the municipalities in the EU integration process, funded by the government of Sweden, gender equality was clearly put as one of the priority areas of work. SCTM was oriented towards gender mainstreaming as a strategy, and support from SALA was of great assistance. The 3R method was used for gender analysis in different activities taken by member municipalities, as well as in the program itself. In the beginning of the program implementation, a basic structure was built. Working group and a pool of experts for gender equality were established. Some strategic decisions were adopted as well. Gender equality was one of the principles integrated in strategic document of the organization, and policy paper on gender equality was adopted by the Assembly. In the years of implementing the program, SCTM provided many training courses, conferences and meetings to municipalities. A network for gender equality was formally established and supported by an e-platform for communication, exchange, data collection and storage. SCTM became recognized as an organization which actively contributes to gender equality both nationally and internationally. A special recognition of their work was expressed through the Jenny Youth Award they received in 2015. It is planned that the work continues in a similar manner through the second phase of the program of support to municipalities on the road to EU. Special attention in the program will be given to gender mainstreaming in environmental protection activities, disaster risk reduction and management, and in business enabling at the local level. As it was mentioned, both SALA and SCTM actively use a relatively simple tool for gender analysis. It is the so-called 3R method, which can be used as a magnifying glass, a prism to see services and policies more clearly. The first R goes to representation. Here we collect data about men and women who participate in an activity or receive a certain service. The second R goes to resources. Here we look at who is getting what and under which conditions. Resources can be finances, but also time, information, space, staff, knowledge, or technical equipment. In the third R, we are interested in reality that stands behind the numbers. Here we want to know more about the gender system, norms and roles that influence a given distribution of resources and representation. After the analysis, possible solutions could become obvious, so the service can be improved to become more gender equal. This method should become a sustainable way of everyday work and understanding phenomena, not solely a one-time learning experience. Here is how it worked on the example of Aranđelovac, a municipality from Serbia. Our colleague decided to try out the 3R method in the area of sports and recreation at the local level. She found out that there are 35 male sports clubs, 3 female ones, and 11 mixed clubs. When she overviewed the membership, she found that 2,000 men and 633 women practiced sport within them. The number of employees were also in favor of men, 160 versus 28. She also found out that most rooms, and better ones, are intended for men, who also get more suitable schedules for training. The reality behind these numbers was probably based on an impression that women and girls do not feel the need to be strong and fit. They have other priorities and perhaps do not have the time to practice sports. The municipality decided to urgently intervene and reduce this gap, so they purchased equipment for school's gymnastics section, an activity which mostly attracted girls. In the long run, this municipality still needs to monitor its sports funding, their strategic plan for sports and recreation, etc. Another SCTM's member that tried a 3R method is the municipality of Žagubica. The service that was chosen was the free legal assistance provided to citizens in need. The service was observed in the period of 50 workdays, and in this period 2/3 of the requests were received from women, almost half of whom were women of the age of 60, which is also the age group that made 1/3 of the total number of requests. Obviously, the resources of the municipal employee were devoted more to women than men. The reality behind these figures was easy to understand. Most of the requests received from women were due to domestic violence or prohibition to use a part of the common household. Most of those who requested assistance were unemployed, had a low education level, or were entirely dependent on their spouse. This example shows that free legal assistance is a service of great necessity for protecting the basic human rights of people already in underprivileged position, that is, women, and especially elderly women. Municipalities who provide such a service to its citizens contribute to gender equality and protection of women's rights. In terms of gender equality, continuing and promoting this service is very important. Although we selected these examples, we can't claim that these are the best examples of using the 3R method. To get more examples of using the 3R method, we can all contribute by analyzing our own work and bringing about a change in the scope of our own mandate. Someone once said that changing the world starts with changing the person in the mirror. The experiences of association described here are their own experiences. As a representative of local government or association, you are in a position to decide whether their experiences are useful for you, your team, your organization. Use these experiences in a way you prefer, choose a strategy or a method, explore further, find other ways, adjust it to the context. Whatever you decide to do, please keep in mind that changing the world is not an easy task. And we do not have time to make the same mistakes all over again in order to get our own lessons learned. That's why we're sharing the lessons that some of our colleagues already learned. Every Even a small contribution to gender equality matters. Set goals and be realistic about them. Create and cherish networks. Cooperate. Be ready to understand and handle resistance. Find the right measure when challenging your surrounding. Collect knowledge, data, reports, experiences. Be creative. Do not rely only on traditional methods. Initiate change in formal documents and reconsider the approach.